Hello, everybody. Today we are talking about Rahu in Rohini and Taurus. Rahu has changed nakshatras, and to 5th of October, Rahu remains in Rohini. And as Saturn all year is in Shravana nakshatra, this is starting the dominance of moon nakshatras and our need to keep calm and to nurture our emotions. So, how does Rahu affect? Hello, I'm Komilla Sutton, and we are talking Rahu in Rohini. Do remember to subscribe, press the bell notification. Also, reminder to you that my courses are beginning in March, so do look them up at komilla.com. There are 4 courses and they will all be live, which means I shall be taking them in real time. And finally, you may want to sign up for my newsletter on my website because there's a lot of extra information about the planets I give. It's once a month, so do think about that. So let us explore Rahu in Rohini. The main thing is this: only Rahu is changing nakshatras. Ketu continues in Jyeshta nakshatra. So Rahu has gone into Rohini. Actually, Rahu went into Rohini on 26th of January, but because my conference was taking place and I was busy with Rahu Ketu conference, I was not able to do that. But I thought that it's still just a few days since Rahu has been in Rohini, and it remains in Rohini till 5th of October, that I should not ignore this very important transit. So hence, I am talking about Rahu in Rohini. So there are a number of key factors that are there of Rahu being in Rohini. Firstly, Rohini nakshatra is a nakshatra of moksha, creativity. It is ruled by the moon, and the deity is Brahma. So Rohini deals with luxury, comforts. Rahu is exalted there. Rahu will be very powerful. He continues to be exalted in Taurus, but in Rohini, Rahu also has a Vargotama position. Rahu will be Vargotama in June, from 1st of June to 3rd of August. And so it is even more powerful. Part of Rahu being in Rohini and Vargotama, it will be Vargotama at the time of the summer eclipse on 10th of June. Although Rahu will be Vargotama, Sun will not be Vargotama, but Sun is there, new moon is there in Taurus, and the eclipse is taking place. That means that the transformation, if you have moon in Rohini, this is a very powerful energy for you. But for all of us, eclipses are always extremely powerful, and Rahu will be there strong and important. So, as you know, I have written a book on the nakshatras, and in my book, what I talk about Rahu being in Rohini is that Rahu enjoys the pleasures of Rohini, but also they can go too far. There is a lack of commitment and the enjoyment of hedonistic lifestyle. So you have to be careful that you don't allow your desires to overwhelm you. That is the main thing about Rahu, because Rahu is always the mouth of the snake and he's always wanting more and more. So while Rahu is in Rohini, you need to be careful about that. Another interesting aspect of Rahu being in Rohini is that every month when moon goes into Rohini, then it will be with Rahu, or when moon is exalted. So in effect, for this whole Rahu in Taurus transit, we are not really going to be enjoying the exaltation of the moon, because every time moon is exalted, he's with the shadowy Rahu, and Rahu is influencing it and creating fear, anxiety, worry about the future, all those aspects. So we have to take note every month, once a month, for 2 days moon will be with Rahu, but one day it will have the exact conjunction with Rahu. So that is something to watch out for during this transit of Rahu in Taurus, but specifically in Rohini as well. And as I said, that the eclipse in Rohini, I'll talk more about the eclipse in June when it comes, but we are overall looking at Rohini. Now, in Rohini, there is only one big conjunction, that is with Mars on 28th of March. Mars will come into Rohini and conjoin with Rahu and then also break the Kalsarpa Yoga. This is on 28th of March. And after that, in May and June, we have the conjunctions of Mercury, Venus, and Sun in Rahu. So Mercury, Venus, Sun are faster moving planets and they conjoin with Rahu once a year. Just the day or 2 days are important that we keep in mind. So 10th, 11th of May is Rahu Mercury conjunction. Then 17th, 18th of May is Rahu Venus conjunction, and 31st May and 1st of June is Rahu Sun conjunction. So all these days are important to just keep in mind. And if your ascendant or moon ruler is either Mercury, Venus, or Sun, then you are feeling more intense about it. But also during the eclipse, Sun and Rahu are together, but they are not in the same degree. So we would keep that eclipse energy as well on 10th of June as an important aspect for this Rahu transit. Now, the big story, of course, is that Saturn and Jupiter are in Shravana Nakshatra. Rahu is in Rohini Nakshatra now. So Saturn and Jupiter will be in Shravana till March, and when Jupiter moves away. But Saturn remains in Shravana throughout the year, and Rahu will be in Rohini till 5th of October. So the domination of the moon nakshatras is very key. And the two malefic planets, Saturn and Rahu, are in moon nakshatra. So the deity ruling both these planets is the moon, and moon is very fickle and changeable and unsettled. And I made a separate video about it. I will put a link to that. But what we have to think about it is what we are doing about our mind, how we are managing it, how we are coping with it. One of the good ways of coping with the mind is not to be over ambitious, not to pressurize ourselves to do things, and not to overdo things. I think that is very important, because then we are always anxious. We are not completing our tasks. We need more things to do. And therefore, our mind feels more unsettled. Also, every month, moon will go into Rohini once a month, into Shravana once a month, and also Hasta, where there is no planet. But you can keep an eye out for these three nakshatras, where the mind is more vulnerable, more sensitive to being anxious or worried. So do take care of that. So when we are looking at how this Rahu in Rohini affects you, you need to know where your moon nakshatra is. So whatever nakshatra your moon is, not the sign of the moon, but the nakshatra of the moon. And we know that Rahu is in Rohini nakshatra. So accordingly, it will impact you. So let us begin with the Ketu nakshatra. So Ketu nakshatras are Ashwini, Magha, and Mula. So for Ketu nakshatra, this is quite a good transit. It is can bring opportunities, wealth. Generally, it is not creating a big drama for you. The Venus rule nakshatras are Bharani, Purva Phalguni, and Purva Ashada. This is not the easiest transit for you because this is where Rahu is more unsettled and he can create some roadblocks don't expect roadblocks every day, but they can be like sudden, unexpected event. Rahu also does shadowy stuff, something you're not aware of. So you need to be conscious of it. Sun rule nakshatras, Kritika, um, Uttara Phalguni and Uttara Ashada. This is a positive nakshatra for you, Rahu. It's going to create wealth, opportunities, money. Think about savings and don't be overambitious with Rahu. We always have to be careful about that. Then the moon rule nakshatras, Rohini, Hasta and Shravana. This is more complicated because this is a direct link. Rahu and Saturn are in exact trining each other, and Rahu and Saturn are both affecting Hasta. So this can also be some change, transformation, but I would say that you all need to be careful. And even though the eclipse is in Rohini, it is going to affect Shravana and Hasta as well in June. So for you, even you may want to make changes. You may think I need to change my life totally. I would say take it easy, wait till after October when Rahu has moved away. Mars rules nakshatra, Mrigasira, Chitra, Dhanishta. This is a positive transit for you. Rahu is supporting. Change has already happened to you because Rahu was in your nakshatra before. Now he's moved away. He is supporting. He's not creating any major disturbance for you. Then Rahu nakshatras itself, Ardara, Swati and Shatabhishak. Rahu is again friendly towards you. He's giving opportunities, not creating any difficulty. Now, one interesting thing is that Shatabhishak was facing a difficulty with Saturn, but that also Saturn has moved. Look at my Saturn video and you'll get more information of Saturn in Shravana. Jupiter ruled nakshatras, Punavasu, Vishakha and Purva Bhadra. Now, Rahu's transit in Rohini is not so good for all of you. There can be unexpected changes, unexpected obstacles, but specifically for Punarvasu, Rahu is creating a lot of mental anxiety and worry and anxiousness. So I would say that Punarvasu needs to take extra care to do some remedies, to do some meditation, yoga, simple remedies. I've talked a lot about remedies earlier as well. So do look out for that. And for the other two, Vishakha as well as Purva Bhadra, there may be some block, something unexpected. Watch out around the eclipses as well if something comes there. But I would say be cautious, be careful, and that is the best way to deal with Rahu. And don't be over ambitious. Saturn ruled nakshatras Pushya, Anuradha, and Uttarabhadra. Rahu is good transit. Rahu in Rohini is not creating extra disturbances. What you have to remember is that Rahu itself may not be creating anything. You have to look at your chart. You have to look at what Saturn is doing, other things. But generally, you are not getting any major impact of Rahu. Mercury ruled nakshatras, Ashlesha, Jyeshta, and Revati. Now, this is a tough transit for you, and especially for Jyeshta, as Ketu is there just now. And so Jyeshta facing some transformation. Even for Ashlesha and Revati, this is an unsettled energy. So take care, watch during the eclipse times and any of the conjunctions, especially the Rahu Mars conjunction is one to watch out for. So that is it for today. Now, how to deal with Rahu in Rohini? Actually, Rahu is well placed in Rohini. So Rahu is not being disturbing at all in Rohini. Rahu is aspecting to Saturn. So it is direct aspect to Saturn in Shravana and Hasta Nakshatra as well as Virgo. So those are the signs a little bit one has to be careful about. But I feel that the main thing with Rahu always is to watch our over-ambitious, watch our anxiety. We should not worry about the future. Try to live in today. think about what you can do, how you can best deal with today, and tomorrow will automatically take care of itself. So all the best. Thank you very much. Do remember to subscribe.